Charon. Charon serves as the guardian of the second pillar, Haumea, acting as her primary protector within the White Clad. His role is defined by strict loyalty to the evangelist and a persistent commitment to Haumea's safety, even though her volatile personality consistently tests his patience. He maintains a stern, disciplined demeanor, but this is offset by his growing frustration with Haumea's lack of responsiveness, creating a dynamic where duty and irritation coexist. Charon is a second-generation pyrokinetic whose ability allows him to absorb kinetic energy from any physical strike that lands on his body. This energy is stored internally and converted into thermal energy, which he can release in explosive bursts. Because the energy originates from incoming blows, each attack against him becomes fuel for his counter-strikes, making him increasingly dangerous the longer a confrontation lasts. He can channel the built-up thermal energy into specific parts of his body, enabling different forms of explosive attacks. A snap, clap, or even a small motion can trigger destructive blasts with considerable range and force. However, his ability has a fundamental limitation. He cannot absorb energy and release it simultaneously. Once he begins an offensive output, he becomes vulnerable to counterattacks, as he temporarily loses the defensive absorption that normally protects him. Arrow. Arrow serves as the guardian of the third pillar, Shouboutai, operating as one of the Knights of the Ashen Flame's highest-ranking combatants. Her role centers on long-range protection, reconnaissance, and precision elimination, making her one of the most dangerous ranged pyrokinetics within the White Clad. Although quiet and stoic, she demonstrates unwavering loyalty, positioning herself as Shou's shadow and executing her responsibilities with disciplined focus. As a third-generation pyrokinetic, Arrow can ignite her left arm into a bow of concentrated flames.
Break.
She fires arrows composed of superheated plasma that change direction midair, allowing her to strike moving targets or bypass obstacles. These projectiles carry enough force to penetrate steel, sever limbs, and detonate on impact, giving her both lethal accuracy and overwhelming firepower. Her sniping capabilities allow her to attack from extreme distances, often eliminating threats before they can react. Throughout her encounters, Arrow demonstrates adaptability and persistence. She exchanges fire with Hinawa during Velocity Rampage, withstands Haumea's electrical discharges during internal conflicts, and endures EMP attacks and physical strikes without abandoning her position. Even while injured, such as during the Neverworld Cataclysm, she continues firing until forced into retreat. Her loyalty remains absolute. Whether supporting Shou directly or temporarily aligning with Fire Force units during catastrophic events, her purpose is to safeguard the third pillar above all else. Joker. Joker acts as one of Shinra Kusakabe's two guardians, though he is entirely self-appointed and operates independently of any organization. His role revolves around protecting Shinra only when it aligns with his pursuit of truth, which he views as the highest form of justice. Joker's methods are covert, manipulative, and strategic. He engineers events from the shadows, using other people's motives as tools to drive them toward outcomes that reveal hidden information. Joker's physical abilities place him among the strongest human combatants in the series. He is a master of close quarters fighting, able to evade Shinra's high-speed kicks and trade evenly with Captain Leonard Burns. His upbringing within the Holy Sol Shadow refined his tactical instincts, knife proficiency, agility, and lethal precision. Joker displays immense strength, evident when he knocks trained assassins unconscious with a single blow, and speed great enough to momentarily keep pace with Shou Kusakabe before escaping without injury. Joker's pyrokinetic generation remains undetermined, but his abilities show traits of both second and third generation. He can manipulate infernal ash into complex shapes such as letters, card symbols, or sharpened projectiles capable of slicing through protective gear. He can also ignite his cigarette with his fingers, suggesting internal flame generation. Using these pyrokinetic cards, he blocks sword strikes, parries attacks, and launches explosive or cutting projectiles.
Ashes.
Although he claims to overheat after producing 52 cards, this limitation is a deliberate misdirection. Joker can far exceed it when necessary. Arthur Boyle becomes one of Shinra Kusakabe's official guardians, and ultimately evolves into one of the strongest beings in the Fire Force universe. His personality is defined by unshakable confidence and a constant detached demeanor, which often reads as arrogance. This self-belief is not baseless. Arthur's combat instincts, adaptability, and pyrokinetic control grow dramatically throughout the series, reinforcing his role as Shinra's indispensable counterpart. As a third-generation pyrokinetic, Arthur generates plasma to forge Excalibur, a blade of superheated, concentrated energy. His fighting style blends swordsmanship with dynamic footwork, allowing him to cut through infernals, deflect projectiles, and pierce hardened materials with precision.
That was my violet flash.
His physical strength is exceptional. Even early in the series, he delivers single punches capable of repelling infernals. As battles intensify, Arthur's power scales rapidly, directly tied to his self-perception and nightly delusion, which amplifies his ignition ability without limit. By the end of the narrative, Arthur ascends to near mythic strength. His ultimate technique, Violet Flash Earth Divider, unleashes a plasma strike powerful enough to kill Dragon instantly and slice the planet itself. The attack even suppresses part of the flames fueling the Great Cataclysm, demonstrating energy output far beyond conventional pyrokinetics. This feat, combined with his versatility, endurance, and combat intuition, establishes him as one of the absolute peak fighters in Fire Force and a guardian whose strength reshapes the balance of the world. Ritsu serves as the guardian of the fifth pillar, Inka Kazugatani, acting as her stabilizing counterpart in both personality and battlefield coordination. Her demeanor is calm, controlled, and sharply attentive, which contrasts Inka's impulsive, thrill-seeking nature. Despite her measured personality, Ritsu is uncompromising regarding her duty. She accepts orders exclusively from Inka and rejects interference from other guardians, even reprimanding Charon when he attempts to intervene. Ritsu's pyrokinetic ability, necro-pyro, allows her to manipulate the ashes of the dead and the remnants of infernals. Using this power, she can reanimate large numbers of deceased infernals, restoring their bodies and controlling them like puppets.
Necro-pyro.
These revived infernals can latch onto enemies and detonate, and any victim killed by them can also be resurrected and added to her forces. This creates a self-propagating army that grows throughout battle, enabling Ritsu to sustain immense pressure on opposing units. At higher levels, Ritsu can fuse living infernals with reanimated ones, producing giant hybrid infernals whose power reflects the strength of the humans they originated from. These giants possess multiple cores, requiring total destruction before they can be neutralized. Ritsu can create several of these massive constructs simultaneously, while still maintaining control over her existing infernal horde. She can also trap living targets inside the fused infernals. Although the captives retain access to their abilities, they remain confined and can be weaponized against their allies. This makes Ritsu one of the most tactically overwhelming guardians, capable of reshaping the battlefield through sheer numbers and structural manipulation of infernal bodies. Kurono. Yuichiro Kurono, also known as the Ashen Reaper, serves as the guardian of the sixth pillar, Nataku-son, while also acting as the Chief Power Development Officer at Haijima Industries. Despite his disheveled appearance and seemingly indifferent attitude, Kurono is one of the organization's strongest combatants. His role as Nataku's guardian stems from both his overwhelming strength and Haijima's need for a reliable, controllable operative capable of neutralizing any threat to their prized child subject. Kurono is a third-generation pyrokinetic whose ability allows him to generate and manipulate intensely heated black smoke, reaching temperatures of around 130 degrees Celsius. This smoke forms a dense field in which he can detect even the smallest movements, effectively turning the area into his personal radar. Kurono uses the smoke both defensively and offensively. He can engulf enemies to burn them internally, obscure his own movements, or conceal rapid repositioning during combat. The smoke can also be compressed to expel force, enabling him to propel himself through the air or glide atop it. Beyond its gaseous form, Kurono can solidify the smoke to create an array of weapons including knives, kunai, spears, swords, and scythes with near instantaneous speed. His proficiency with these weapons makes him lethal at both close and mid-range distances. By igniting the weapons with both hands, he increases their destructive output, allowing him to shred opponents with blazing precision. His combat skill and raw physical strength place him on par with Benimaru Shinmon, marking Kurono as one of the strongest non-pillar affiliated fighters in the world, and a guardian whose presence alone can dominate an entire battlefield.